pay me no mind. Sports and entertainment video. I don't expect many people to tune in to the live streams, but again, right now I got a little gear problem, and I'm actually in the middle of upgrading some things to address that. And going live mobile is kind of the quickest and most efficient thing that I can do. So just looking at today's NBA stuff, probably gonna start talking a little bit more NBA. Even though my team is trash, I just put in parentheses that the Pistons are on an 0-4 start, and it is what it is. That's just kind of the nature of NBA basketball. But a couple of phenomenal things I see tonight, and that keep my interest early in the season with the Brooklyn Nets. Just lost Spencer Dinwiddie with a partial ACL tear. I think they put on there with the prognosis or, that the word was that he could come back. He could return later in the year. But, immediately there were some questions about how losing a starter, how it would impact the team. And possibly pulling Caress Levert up to the starting unit and taking away the leader of the second unit. And then this was a team that looked very deep, prior to Dinwiddie going down. So anyway, they get down tonight big to the Hawks, and then storm back to win like 145-140. I'm just amazed at that type of scoring for the team without, a key starter. And it looks like they handled, and it's just the first game, and it's the Atlanta Hawks, who are 3-1. Big night from Trae Young. So again, man, I just want to see some interesting teams on the East Coast, in the Eastern Conference. That's the games that I'm probably going to stay up and watch. I see Durant I'm looking at his stat line, 33, 11, and 8. So I just want to see somebody. I want to see somebody be capable of standing in the way of the Los Angeles Lakers. As a Pistons fan, I hate the Lakers, and I just want to see somebody being able to compete with those guys later in the year. Looks like Irving and KD both had over 25 points. So that's good news. That's good news, because that's all I really can root for. Somebody in the East being competitive. The other interesting thing tonight was to check out the Milwaukee Bucks against a decent night. I usually don't watch a whole lot of games on NBA TV, but I've been hanging out with them tonight. They had an interesting doubleheader with the Clippers and Portland game, which ended up being trash. But the Milwaukee and Miami game, Milwaukee goes up pretty big and then loses late big. So that's an interesting swing. And then Jimmy Buckets didn't play, Jimmy Butler. So again, I'm just excited early season to see some decent ball in the Eastern Conference, and to see a couple of teams that might be able to compete late into the season. Yeah, 145-141 Nets over the Hawks. So I would expect at some point the Dinwiddie absence is going to create some problems. Tonight, they took care of it. But again, I was looking at the Nets, the first few games, and was like, damn, these guys are extremely deep. And, they take a big hit with Dinwiddie. Milwaukee, to have this kind of loss tonight, and I want to say they just had another bad loss. But to have this loss tonight against Miami and the way that they lost it, I think it was like a 45-13 type of run or something. they got to be concerned. And then, if you're looking at, Giannis Antetokounmpo signing this max deal, this 5-year max deal, and then you turn around and you having a rough start to the season. He was struggling a little bit individually, but now to have this loss tonight, I would imagine that immediately the negative stuff is going to start being the story. And that they're wasting, they're squandering, and not giving Giannis a chance to compete for a title will become the story. And that's just not a team that can really bring in the right kind of help easily. They got to win. And I noticed the DJ Wilson kid, I didn't see him on the court much tonight. He's not really the kind of impact guy I was hoping that he could be coming out of Michigan. I'm a University of Michigan fan. Interesting. Big game from Jaylen Brown tonight. Very interesting. I think he had over 40 points or right at 40 points. Interesting to see his development and what's going on with the Celtics. Again, I just want to see competitive teams who will have a shot in the postseason if they make it through, to the finals and whatnot. So to see him coming along the way that he has, I think the other kid, I can't think of his name right now, grew his hair out this year. Jason something. Damn, I'm bad with names right now, man. I know I'm getting old. Tatum struggling a little bit offensively. So good to see Jaylen Brown continuing to to be a nightly performer. What else did I see? Speaking of this Clippers game against Portland, who didn't really show up tonight. I don't know what the hell was up with Portland. I wanted to say it was quiet nights from Dame and McCollum, CJ, but both of them had over 20 points. CJ might have had right at 20 points. One of them had 20. The other had 25. Just really out of it the entire night. I don't even think either one of them guys played over 30-something minutes. It was just kind of one of those nights, hey, it's not happening, it's not clicking, and they just shut it down. The Clippers, it's still something missing on that team. I'm sorry, McCollum had 25 points and 4 rebounds. Lillard had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 20 points. Big nights from Leonard and Paul George, 23 and 28. 28 for Kawhi, 23-point loss. So anyway, man, it's just interesting. We had the Lakers aren't really, doing all that great out of the gate. Somewhat of a slower start from LeBron. I think that's to be expected. I think when you have LeBron and you have the team that they have, Schroeder's settling in pretty well. The big kid, the big guy that came over, Gasol, not doing a whole lot thus far. But it's interesting to see Schroeder taking as many shots as he's taking right now, which lets you know that they're kind of winning. Winning right now can happen, but it's really just trying to let the team chemistry happen and then go from there. It was Boston against Memphis tonight, and they were in Boston. No Ja Morant right now. He's in that walking boot. But back to the Lakers, they just going to hit their stride, get the team together and try to be ready late, and be ready for the postseason. That's all they really got to do. 42 for Jaylen Brown. I'm sorry. Only 16, 6 of 12, shooting from Jason Tatum. Interesting. Good to have 2 young guys, though, in Brown and Tatum. What else? I was getting ready to get off of here, honestly. I see Dallas coming, some highlights from Dallas and the Hornets. There was another storyline that I thought was pretty interesting out there. I forgot what it was. looking at Ball getting in a little bit of work, kind of coming along three or four games in at this point. A bunch of young guys down in Charlotte. They don't know how to win yet. They don't really know how to play NBA ball, but some young guys, at least to have some excitement, going in. Big air ball from damn, the Hornets are taking it to the Mavericks. I'm imagining this game is over already. Yeah, about like 25 plus points. 24 right, or 19 right now. Almost had a big fight too. Wonder if it'll be some kind of suspension or whatnot. But anyway, that's it, man. Oh, that's what I was gonna get to. What I put in parentheses. To see the Pistons starting out 0-4. Disheartening. Typical, small market team. Up in the Rust Belt, in the middle of the country. Not a lot of, and they hosted the Golden State Warriors. 27 for Jeremy Grant. It's kind of painful to look over at Houston and see Christian Wood putting up like 23 points. He was on the team last year. I guess he wasn't a part of the plan. They didn't want to spend that type of money to try to keep him in Detroit. But only like 17 minutes from Blake Griffin tonight. Not a whole lot of points from him. Like I said, 27 from Grant, who was the big free agency acquisition. Promising that he's panning out the way that Troy Weaver hoped he would become, kind of a featured scorer. Maybe a number 2, maybe a number 1. It might have to be that way. But to see him put up 27 with the expectation that he'd be more of a scorer, and for him to deliver is promising. Another move that Weaver made was bringing in Jackson, and he had a pretty good game tonight. He had a bunch of points tonight, double digits, at 20 or around 20, I want to say. Didn't get the win, but I think all three of the draft picks contributed tonight. All three of the young guys contributed tonight. I think that's a positive. No points from Killian. Okay. 15 some points from D Rose. 9 from Sekou, I think. Maybe 11 from Sadiq B or Bay. So it's good to see guys contributing. Being that you shook up the roster, I just saw Kennard out there for the Clippers, not looking all that great. Maybe it wasn't a bad idea to move on from him. But, again, you have a draft, you have a first round where you pick up 3 players, and all of them are playing in the 4th or 5th game of the season. That's not such a bad thing. Again, that means the team is super young. Got a young guard, somebody young running the team. They got to figure out how to win. I think it was a 10-point loss tonight, maybe 116-106. I think they were leading at halftime. But again, 0-4, you hate to see it, but if you're gonna tell me that the one that Jeremy Grant and that Jackson are gonna continue to produce solid numbers, I'll take that. If you're going to tell me that the 3 youngsters, 3 first-year players, that they're going to contribute or at least get in decent minutes night to night, and mature, develop, grow, and improve, I'll take that. Blake Griffin, is he going to be able to play, 25, 30 minutes? Is he just on a pitch count right now? Which I wouldn't doubt if he is. D Rose is kind of a guy who they watch his minutes and whatnot. So I'm I'm not so down on everything. They also lost to Cleveland. I want to say maybe last game. I see Cleveland at 3-1. So yeah, that's the other thing I was going to talk about was the Pistons getting off to this ugly start, but I'm not really so down on it. Like I said, based on the stuff that I just saw, they got to learn how to play together. They have to learn how to win. You turned the roster over this year. Weaver brought in the names that he wanted, and they're producing. So I think again, all of those are very promising details. Everybody doesn't. Everybody can't bring in a KD and a Kyrie Irving. You can't make life that easy. So you got to figure it out. And again, if you tell me all of these dudes can do something, can contribute on those levels on a nightly basis, I ain't so mad. I'm not so sure that gets you to the. My bad. Back. You never know how this pops up on the when the video uploads and whatnot. So who knows what was said, what was actually captured, and what's now being captured now that it's telling me is live again. But that's all I was really gonna jump on, man. Just kind of looking at some of the early developments in the league. I had an epiphany earlier today, or just like the light bulb went off on me, because I'm seeing all the different early criticism out there, and it's all the doom and gloom, and a team like Milwaukee, it's must win, and they got to deliver, and Brooklyn, anything less than this is a failure and it's a waste. It's all these expectations that get thrown out there, and I'm like, damn, it's 3 games in, it's 4 games in. But then I just realized earlier today that like NBA is the perfect league for sports networks, for sports, for the morning time, from morning to late afternoon. The NBA is the perfect sport because you have games nightly, and you have big time athletes, well-known athletes, a very entertaining product for the most part, and you can talk about this stuff daily. Versus if you're talking about the NFL, you do have Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and then you have Sunday. But it's some dead moments in there. But again, every night with the NBA, you can get up the next day, and if you got to do a rundown of 10 topics, you got a fresh new 10 topics to talk about. So I don't know what I was thinking, but that's why the NBA became so popular the last 2 years on ESPN and with the talk shows, the daily debate shows and whatnot. It's very easy to get on there and criticize these dudes on a daily basis, and then turn around the next day and forget all about it. DeRozan dunked on Montrezl Harrell tonight. That was nice. The Spurs and the Lakers. Becky Hammond coaching after Pop got ejected. Anyway, let me get on off of here, man. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. See if those Pistons can get out of neutral. But hell, maybe even get the battery to turn over to get the car started. I'm out 1.